to me, the word mindset is very powerful. The mindset that if you set your mind to do something that's not only work but also relax a little bit. Having this conversation, this is different for me because I am just go, and have been able to just, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's socialize a little bit, right? Let's do this. It brings a little bit of calm to that day.
Welcome to the Deeper Than Dough podcast. We got Ivan here and the co-host Mike Norton.
Thank you, Bennett.
He introduced me on the last one.
Welcome, Ivan.
Thank you.
Ivan, we're excited to have you. I've actually wanted to have you on for quite a while, and but we've gone through 3 producers. So my list got lost. So thanks for jumping on today.
No problem.
It's really good because we get to know each other a little bit differently. Like we had Josh on there, and that even known Josh since I think I was 1. That's we've just grown up together.
Known that long?
Yeah, we moved into his ward when we were 1.
You guys basically brothers.
Yeah, and then but I come on this podcast and we talk about just joy and fulfillment, and it's just gives a different perspective. So let's start with your background though, Ivan.
Yeah, I grew up in Brazil.
What part?
I grew up in Curitiba, just south of São Paulo.
Okay.
About it's like flying from Salt Lake to Vegas.
Yep.
Grew up there and went on a mission in Brazil to the LDS church. And then when I came back from my mission, I got home and I needed to find something to do. Either my plan was to go to college there. So I started that prep to go to college after my mission. But then my father, when I got home, he had a partnership in a factory that makes coffins, handles.
Okay.
Handles for coffins.
That's pretty niche.
Unique, yeah. I know. Kind of weird. I'm like, what do you guys do here? That's great. So he ended up buying the company, part of it, and giving it to me to run. I'm like, okay, well, thanks so much. That's great. But, not much experience at that point. And I run that business.
So you were like 21 or 22 at the time, right off the mission?
My mission. Yeah, 21, 22.
So is your dad entrepreneur? I don't want to segue.
No,
but is
my
your dad entrepreneurial?
No,
is he
my
just
dad's an accountant.
Okay.
So he was an accountant for the government his whole life, but he, how do you say in English, is like a shark, like where you lend money to people?
Yeah. Hard money lender?
Yeah.
A shark, yeah.
So he lent the money to this company, and I don't think they were paying him back as they should. So eventually he ended up buying it, good size shares of it. And he gave to me to go run it. I'm like, okay, sounds great. Thanks so much. And run it for about a year. And in the meanwhile, was communicating with my wife, who served the mission with me in Brazil as well. And my goal was always to want to come to the U.S. for school, to go to BYU. First, to learn English. I never knew how to speak English. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything other than just hire by,
Yeah.
So the goal, I always wanted to go to BYU to learn English here. But my wife is American, is from here. So, we served the mission in the same place. We started communicating. After I came back from my mission, I was still working at that factory there. And we decided that she was going to move to Brazil for us to get married and then move our lives there, So she had everything lined up. She already even sent a suitcase, preparing to move to Brazil. And we found out that it was hard for her to get a visa to get in Brazil, to like a permanent visa. And it would be much easier for me to get a visa coming to the U.S., which you probably think it's like
the opposite,
right?
Yeah.
But the goal wasn't for her to just get a visa to do like a tourist visa. Yeah, it was. She wanted to be permanent resident. And for me to come to the U.S. has something that's called a fiancé visa. So I applied for a fiancé visa, got that very quickly. And so we decided, well, let's change course. Let's come to the U.S. for you to at least learn English. It'd be nice to be able to talk to the mother-in-law,
Yeah.
That'd be good. So I ended up coming to the U.S.
Or maybe not, though.
Maybe not.
My wife couldn't speak to my mom for a while, and it was great because she didn't know English.
That's one way to
we
look
got
at
married.
it.
Yeah, it was like you could avoid a lot of awkward conversations with my crazy mom.
My mother-in-law is awesome. She's really good. So ended up coming to the US to BYU to learn English. Took classes at BYU for English purposes, and after that applied to go to college at UVU. So got admitted to UVU for business, international business.
What year was this?
That was 2004,
Yeah.
2002 until 2006. So I finished 2006.
Cool.
After completing, went to school to BYU and then UVU, I left BYU. Well, while I was going to UVU, I was got a job driving a school bus.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was kind of nice because UVU is a state university,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working for the state, so it kind of was very flexible for me to be able to drive between classes, And when I completed the college, I applied for a job at a local company called American Crafts. So.
Oh, you've been with American Crafts since right then?
Since then. So I've been with American Crafts for 16 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
So the whole trucking business that you had was always in addition to American Crafts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always American Crafts. So the trucking business, I always started because of the driving school bus.
Uh-huh.
I was driving school bus while going to school, graduated from school, left the school bus and started working for American Crafts in the accounting department there, doing purchasing. So I worked there in accounting, IT, name it. Company was very small, so I had a chance to work in different fields, which was really great. And then my brother decided to come to the US, and I wanted to find a way to help him to work,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had a little background on transportation, driving the school bus and so forth. And then I had a neighbor who had a trucking business. And talking with him about that, he says, why don't you buy a truck and lease to my company? And I will, you can run under my authority.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, sounds great. So I did that with the purpose of me and my brother driving. So in order to help my brother to get going, But I didn't even think about he needs a work permit and all those things. So he came here on a student visa. In order to drive a big truck, you need to have your CDL, which requires you to have a permanent residency or a work visa. You have to have a social security card, which he didn't have. So I bought the truck, quit my job at American Crafts, and was lined up to go. When he was about to get his license, found out this is not going to work out. It was a little bit too late. So, and that's how the trucking business started, is because I wanted to start that. So I told American Crafts, I'm leaving. They're like, no, you're not leaving. I'm like, why are you leaving? So I ended up getting the truck into, leasing the truck to that company. We hired a driver to run it. So that was running there. My brother went to school. We found out other ways to help him to survive here. And eventually I sold that truck. The driver had an accident and so forth. I sold the trucking business, and I'm like, I'm done with it, And then just focused on American Crafts there. American, company was growing quite fast, so making that work. And then got to the point where American Crafts I was there for about 10 years or so. And American Crafts was in the process of being sold, And as they were selling, they hired somebody to replace me, or replace the whole management team. We knew it was coming. That's pretty natural, right? When you sell your company, new management comes in and they start replacing all the key managers, right? Of course, by then I had already been in American Crafts for 10 years, had different roles in there. Like I said, different, doing different things. And my focus was mostly on the transportation, import, export. So I was doing customs clearance, import, export, and so forth. And the time came for new management. American Crafts are going to get sold. There's new management coming in. I better look what's next for me, right? And I had a good friend in California, which I still have a good friend in California. And he said, well, why don't we start a trucking business? I'm like, no. I already have been on that road. No, don't want that anymore. He has a warehouse. He has a couple of warehouses in California. It's like, no, this is going to work. Well, let's work together on this. It's going to be good. I'm like, sounds good. So he put some money in, I put some money in, and we did something, completely different where I'm not driving. I'm just managing that. And the purpose was for me to go manage that and combine my business with his eventually. That's a transition out of American Crafts, because American Crafts is in the process of being sold, and that's a whole book that I can write on that process of selling that company. A lot of learning experiences in there.
But it didn't end up.
It did not.
It did not go through. But they already let you know that the management was going to be.
I could
or
tell.
It was kind of okay.
I could tell between the lines. I could see it. I went to the new management. I asked them how we're going to do it. What's going to happen here, and I knew they were bringing people in that were overqualified for the position under me. I'm like, okay. That doesn't make sense.
Where they're getting trained.
Yes, they're getting trained. I could read between the lines.
So when did you start the trucking business? What year was that?
So that was 2000. It was
12-ish?
No, it was 2012 about 2015.
Oh yeah, because you graduated. Okay.
2015.
And then you ran that, and
so
for how long?
So I was about to leave American Crafts, but that didn't go through. Right. So I bought a truck, bought 2 trucks, and the business started going, and all of a sudden the sale doesn't go through. So I go to the owners and I'm like, hey, I got this thing happening here, and of course they wanted me to stay there for a little longer. So at that point I hired people to run the business for me. So I hired people to do dispatch, all the accounting, all those pieces. And the company just started running by itself, pretty much. Like, it was great.
It's not bad.
It wasn't bad. I was just managing equipment purchase and so forth. Eventually, the company started growing to a level that I had to go focus on it. I just couldn't just let people do it anymore. I was bringing enough revenue and so forth that I needed to focus. And that's when I went to American Crafts and said, hey, this time I really have to go, But I ended up selling the trucking business to American Crafts.
That's when they said, before you leave, we will buy your business.
We'll buy your business.
Well, how many years ago was that? 2 years, 3 years?
Ago.
Oh, 5 years ago? So
4 years.
you only had it for a few years.
I had it for exactly 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 years. And then they needed that company as well to run their business as well, because they were really busy with transportation. And I ended up selling to them with an agreement that I would stay and also getting shares of American Crafts as a partner there.
Are they going to sell again? Is it on the wall?
I hope so. Now I definitely want them to sell.
And then you came on with us a year ago.
Yeah,
running all the logistics and
so helping Dirty Dough to run the logistics now,
negotiating all the contracts, and
yes,
I'm just glad you're doing it, because there's a lot going on there. There's 26 different Cisco hubs, right?
72.
Oh, 72? Where am I getting 26 from?
26 is maybe the number that we're going to get to here very quickly.
Okay, and because
So
you have to go to each different one,
Yeah.
and then you're getting the dough from the warehouse to these Cisco hubs and negotiating those contracts and the pricing that they needed. And then we have to make that uniform between all of our franchisees.
And that was really beneficial for me to be able to really understand the transportation and the cost of operating a truck, operating a warehouse, operating all those things. So instead of us distributing ourselves, I was able to negotiate with Cisco at the right price that would be equal or is smaller than we would operate ourselves.
Without all the liability.
Without the liability. And also the capital requirement to expand. I mean, it would be
huge.
Millions of dollars. Yes. So it was.
And we're already spending millions. We can't afford to do that.
Or we can save.
Yes. No, Cisco opening that door, what allowed us to grow to any direction. So Dirty Dough now can go anywhere. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Which includes the wholesale side as well. That is, it's like, hey, we already have trucks going out to Ohio or Indianapolis, and I think Florida within the next few weeks as well. San Antonio, I think.
We're shipping to Florida tomorrow.
Okay, and then Texas, I think we already shipped to them.
Texas already operating for sure.
So, a lot going on. Okay, coffin handles, Mission, American Crafts, school,
Trucks,
Dirty Dough,
yeah.
your own trucking business and selling that. Where are you finding out of that whole path the most joy and fulfillment, or even success, however you want to define that?
You know, the joy for me there has been to be able to use all those tools to help my family. I have 2 brothers here, I have a sister here. To help them grow and also achieve their financial, goals in the United States. That everything I did it opened doors that otherwise it would be harder to do, for them. It took me 15 years to do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm here 23 years now, 15 years. Yeah. So, but for them, I was able to help them with work, with better income and so forth faster. So
it didn't matter how you were doing it, American Crafts or your trucking business or Dirty Dough or whatever else you're doing. It was, how am I using the money? And and you find the fulfillment and the joy from gifting that to family members and watching them succeed.
Exactly. And the fulfillment is on that because it's not just yourself, it's people around you, right? And your family comes first.
Yeah.
To allow them to grow and so forth. And looking back, all the people that get affected by just being instrument to making those things happen is there's big fulfillment in there for me.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was going to look at you got to edit this out, Enrique. I was looking over there and you just looked back at me.
That's the first time that's ever happened. Okay.
Well, that's what the editing
Sorry,
is
that's
for.
a long answer there, but...
No, I was going to just read the next one in a row.
I was waiting because you rolled one off earlier and you were so spot on, so I was just waiting for you.
All right, all of that will be cut out. So get your swear words out.
Okay, so you talk about family, you talk about joy and fulfillment. When it comes to mental health and struggles, because that's a lot on your plate. Now you have the business, you have family members that are relying on you. How do you manage and talk about some of those struggles?
Yeah, I think I can talk more about struggles than actually how to manage it. I'm definitely not an expert on managing mental health. For me, mental health has never been a big issue until recently. I started learning more about it. Dirty Dough has kind of brought it to light to me. There is a problem out there with mental health.
And you can also rephrase mental health to be mindset or even positivity, because a lot of time the mental health label goes straight to like bipolar or depression or anxiety, which is not what we're speaking to. That's part of it.
Yes.
But mental health is just, are you happy and fulfilled on a day-to-day basis? Even that can be
because in mental
considered.
Illness, you have all those sickness, right? That it has a different point, But mental health and fulfillment and for me, it has not been an issue because I have been extremely busy every day. Truly, it's just like day in, day out. You ask my wife, it's like I wake up, I'm working. I go to bed, I'm working. Like when I fall asleep, it's like I tune off literally in half a second. It does not take me more than 5 seconds to fall asleep.
That's great.
It's great. And when I'm sleeping, I am disconnected. I think that is what I have been able to cope with so many things that I do at once, is because when I sleep, I can completely just disconnect. I don't dream about work. I don't dream about nothing. It's just like off. But at the moment I wake up, it's like the phone is ringing. There's a text. Yeah. I want to check on this. I want to check on that. Got to a point work that I was sometimes ashamed to say that I would take a laptop to church and sit in the back row and do emails while I am working in order to keep up, right? Yep. But those things I have managed that by having more people to help,
Now, do you think it was the lack of people or not wanting to hire the people because maybe you like it, maybe you like the distraction, maybe you like the recognition?
I never thought about it, but I never thought about, that I just like. But to me, it's more about I don't want to spend the money You know, I want to save the company. I want to save the company money. I want to make sure that I am doing everything I can before I have to spend money for somebody else. But that's fine. But that gets to you eventually.
Yeah, it gets old. You're like, I want to start.
You got to start.
I want to start.
Prevents you from
having free time now.
From free time for other things. You know, and mental health is such an important thing. And more, you know, for all these years, I have just been able to work, and function. Because again, it's because of the way maybe I sleep is just I turn off. But more recently, I have felt that it's important to have that break, to just relax a little bit and try to not be so stressed over things. You know, my blood pressure has gone up. I got medication for it, you know, to control it. And how can I control it without medication? I can do it. Just relax a little bit.
Yeah, which is hard. Which is hard to do.
I
mean, we get us as entrepreneurs, we get that dopamine from working and checking off checklists.
Yes, check. Yeah.
And like, look at this accomplishment. But I think it inhibits creativity. Like when I have an hour free on my schedule, like I did today, because I canceled a doctor's appointment that I had. And I still worked the whole time, but it was less stressful, I guess, and more, I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit there for 5-10 minutes on my bed, do a quick meditation. Then there's all these ideas like, oh, I could check on this, I could check on that. And I feel like I get more accomplished with, you know, an hour free time and just thinking and creativity than I do with back-to-back meetings, 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Amen to that.
What was that?
Said amen to that.
You know, and when my trucking business started to grow and I had no choice but to hire more people, that is when the light kind of like, hey, that's how you do it. You just hire people, control it, manage it, and expand. And so I felt very accomplished by being able to expand the way we expanded. And at the same time, I learned that delegate. Don't bring everything on your shoulders. I think small entrepreneurs tend to do that. Yeah. I want to do everything, and you just can't. What you have accomplished under the door is very amazing. I have seen, not from the very beginning, but I saw once you start expanding. Yeah. And what did you do? You brought the right people, the right places, and it's flowing beautifully. You know.
Yep, I'm good at handing off things, but it was very hard for me on the first business because you're like, I want to do everything, but it's just.
But I think the key is when you hire the right people to do the right things, because then you can rely on them. Yeah. It's hard when you have somebody that you have to be micromanaging or you have to be checking back on it. Did you do this? Did you do that? Yeah. But when you have somebody that can like just take care of it and you know it's done properly the way it's supposed to do, I think it makes a big difference.
Oh, for sure. Hiring the people that are not capable of doing it, but more capable than you at doing it. Like you with logistics, where Josh running production and Jill running the franchise. Like everybody's doing a much better job than I could have done. So it makes it makes it a lot easier to do it.
And you're accomplishing a lot more because of it. You know, like coming here today for this podcast, right? I'm thinking, man, I am busy right now. I don't have time for this, you know? And it was a mindset. To me, the word mindset is very powerful. The mindset that if you set your mind to do something that's not only work but also relax a little bit. Having this conversation, this is different for me because I am just go, and have been able to just, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's socialize a little bit, right? Let's do this. It brings a little bit of calm to that day, and I think if that can be done on a daily basis, where you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just stop. One thing I like is my watch tells me, you know, I am sitting for too long. Yeah, take a break. Yeah, stand up and walk. And then if I do it, it says, oh, good job, you did it, you know. But those reminders that I think is very powerful. Using technology today to accomplish that goal of don't forget that you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your mind. It's powerful. I think it's helpful, and we need to utilize that more, I think.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the chopping a tree down You know, like I don't want to stop and sharpen my axe. I just want to get it done.
Exactly.
It's like, but if you would have just stopped and sharpened your axe, you would have already been done.
Exactly.
And then stopping to sharpening your axe is typically, you know, gaining either putting stronger relationships, personal relationships, where therefore make you happier and more enjoyable to be around, which then makes you a better leader and more influential. And then it makes the business better anyway.
That's true.
It's just having the trust or the faith to kind of be like, okay, let's see. Let me take some me time in expense of the business, because it's either one or the other, right? It's either me, personal, family, or business, and trusting that you taking family time or personal time is actually better than for the business in the long run.
Absolutely. And sometimes we learn that those things are important by error, you know, trial and error. And sometimes it can take too long, 10 years, 15 years. But like a podcast like this, that you can talk about it, and people can get motivated to take a pause, take care of your mental health, of getting in tune, thinking about things, just relax a little bit. Can help bring people faster to this mindset.
Yeah. And I also think the entrepreneurs, more specifically male entrepreneurs, probably do the I'm doing this for you, right? We're doing it for the spouses, we're doing it for the kids. When it's like, well, they probably need 70 to 90,000 a year to have everything you want as far as the happiness studies. Anything outside of that is for us. But we're telling ourselves we're doing it for them. And I still find a lot of joy in working. Like a lot of times I would rather work than watch Netflix, but I'm just like, no, I have to do something other than work after 5 o'clock a day. Like I'm just really trying to do that. But I don't know. I just saw my personal relationships and my health suffer because it was, hey, hon, I'm doing this for you so we can have X, Y, Z in the future. And she's like, I don't want that. Let's just do it right now.
Right?
Like when I dropped out of college, I thought she was going to be very disappointed because not only did I drop out of college, I also said I didn't want to be a doctor without really telling her what I wanted to do. And she's like, relieved. She's like, good, I don't want you to be a doctor because they work all the time.
Exactly.
And then I went into summer sales.
You know?
But I think I'm back onto the normal grind. But I did, we don't ask our spouses who we're doing it for sometimes, hey, would you rather me make $100,000 and be with you, or $200,000 and probably not see you for 3 years?
Yeah.
And they'll probably choose the $100,000.
True.
Probably.
Yeah. I feel that. And I can tell I am somebody that has to change that too, because I am on that mindset, right?
Yeah.
Of just work. But slowly making that transition.
Chipping away.
How many kids do you have?
3 boys.
3 boys. How old are they?
I have Ben is 14. No, Ben is 16 basically.
He's getting old.
He's going to be 16 this month. 16, 12, and 7.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all great ages to spend time with them.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the most important years.
Lucas really likes sports, which for me was mostly soccer, but you know, he likes doing things outside. And so it's helping me to spend a little bit more time with him because of that. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Question, this is putting Dirty Dough on the spot, but what is Dirty Dough well, and what can Dirty Dough do better around mental health for employees, culture, anything?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But I think...
we haven't done much. That's why.
No, but I think Dirty Dough is doing more than I have seen in other companies, right? You are promoting it. This whole slogan is, drives the mental health. I think just continue to don't stop, because most companies get excited about something and kind of get distracted, but don't just keep on driving it. I think that's what I would say. Keep on going, because it's positive. It's helping me personally, because I have not addressed mental health myself, because I'm always just working. I love working. People call me alcoholic. Yeah, sure, I am. I really enjoy working. It's true. If I don't work, I feel
you're like
something's
bored.
missing.
That's how I am.
Bored.
Like, what the hell am I going to do if I'm not closing a deal?
It's like, on a Saturday afternoon, and I'm like, what can I do right now? I can do some emails, or I can go do something around the house, but I just can't sit down and do nothing. It's really hard for me to do that. It's so hard. That's something I need to change, do better, is give a little break for myself.
Yeah.
Well, however, I gotta give credit to my younger brother, Nico, for inviting me to a motorcycle club. So it's called Mototherapy.
Okay.
A bunch
I think I know that brother.
Yes, Nico.
Because I follow him on Instagram.
Yes,
really?
yes,
He has his motorcycles, yeah.
He's really good at it. So sometimes he puts me there on his Instagram pictures and so forth.
Uh-huh.
But because of him, I can say I have more friends now.
Yeah.
You know, outside of family that I haven't had before, because of that participating of that activity. I love riding motorcycles, but that group is more than just riding. Mm-hmm. We are often helping each other, and also driving awareness for suicide and so forth, which is very nice.
Yeah, there was I think it was done at Stanford, the longest ever study. It's been like, I don't know, 70 years for the participants. I think they were in college, so most of them were dead. They're 90 years old if they're still alive or dead. Anyways, the number one indicator of how long they would live, and this was hundreds and hundreds of participants, was their relationships. How many close relationships? That it wasn't just how happy they were, but it was how long they lived.
They live based on that alone.
Which is
wow,
crazy.
that's amazing.
So
Yeah.
keep going to motorcycle club.
I enjoy it.
It'll add some. It's the same as eating a salad.
For me, it's better.
Better.
Better,
exactly.
absolutely.
So we got the final question for you. How do you want to be remembered?
To me, it's, I haven't thought about it, but if I go and my family and friends see me as somebody that helped them accomplish something in their own lives, that's all I want. I want to be remembered by somebody that was a right hand, or somebody that was able to help them achieve something that they couldn't achieve by themselves.
That's awesome. Giving them that assistance.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today, Ivan.
No problem.
It was
Thank
good
for
having you.
inviting me. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Where do our listeners find you? Instagram, LinkedIn.
I was gonna say, out of anybody,
I don't know, but
Ivan's a ghost.
I am a ghost. I like that way. That's why I ride a motorcycle. I can put up my helmet on and
Come into Dirty Dough, say hi, and get a cookie,
Yes.
and that's where you meet Ivan.
But I am on Instagram and I am on Facebook. I don't even know what my thing is, but I go there to check things out, I guess.
We'll grab your links
love
then.
it.
Somebody needs to help me set up my stuff, my social media life.
I got you.
Well, thank you, Ivan.